Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to yet another engrossing episode of Perceptive Learning Zone. I'm your host, Mohammed Hamza Nasser. And today, as per popular request, we decided we're going to be talking about mechanical engineering, its scope in Pakistan, the academic and practical opportunities, and what sorts of jobs are available in this field and how you can propel yourself forward, what you're going to be doing in this field, and how it can be a very interesting avenue as far as your future career aspirations are concerned. So, well, without further ado, let's just talk about it a little bit, right? Let's start off with the introduction. I mean, what is for the layman, right? For the uninitiated, how do we define mechanical engineering, right? So, mechanical engineering is defined as an engineering field, which includes analysis and production of machines and tools. This field is the oldest and one of the most popular among engineering fields in Pakistan, right? And it includes different aspects such as construction, development, production, operation, and maintenance of machines and tools. And a person who's employed in this field is obviously no brainer. He's a colleague, mechanical engineer, right? So, to the prospective mechanical engineers who are listening to me right now, a big question that you'd ask yourself is that, okay, when I go to undergrad level, when I do BSc mechanical engineering, what will be the objectives? Okay. So, a very important objective of studying BSc mechanical engineering in Pakistan is to develop and promote skills related to this field. You know, secondly, it will introduce creative and unique ideas in here. Thirdly, the students will be able to learn different abilities like practicality and organizing ability. And lastly, you are expected to develop flexibility in different disciplinary areas. Where are those disciplinary areas? We're just going to come to that in a bit, okay? Next up, a lot of people have this question: what is the nature of work in mechanical engineering? So I always say that in a way, mechanical engineers are involved in creating the future, just like chemicals, right? Now, they are the driving force behind many of our technologies and industrial processes, which include innovative products like mobiles, PCs, DVDs, etc. in our modern world, right? The work of a mechanical engineer can be extremely challenging and fulfilling. So make no mistake, this is not for the faint-hearted, right? It requires IT, design, analytical skills, along with the ability to work as a team. And as the work involves production, transmission, and use of mechanical power and heat, so mechanical engineers should have the ability to analyze different materials which are used for the machines and their tolerances. They're supposed to investigate the different energy sources and the power they generate and design, solutions to solve problems. Now, when they're designing and making a commercial product, they have to consider all the business and marketing aspects to make sure that the product is affordable, right? They share, as always say, mechanical engineers, they share interests with many other engineers, like civil engineers, in structures and stress analysis. They overlap with electrical engineers in matters of electronics, computing, and control theory. They synchronize with aeronautical engineers in fluid flow and turbo machinery. And similarly, they design tools needed by other engineers for their work. So their work is a part of a team with other engineers, as well as financial, business, and management professionals on a project together. So mechanical engineers are also responsible for the maintenance and repair of devices. So care must be taken. The utmost precaution must be exercised that the plant gives maximum output and the machine is properly maintained. Um, People would ask, right, what are the abilities required, right? We already talked about organizing ability, practicality, the ability to get on well with other types of people, ability to keep calm under pressure, the flexibility to work in a multidisciplinary area. These are all assets in the field, right? But that could pretty much go for any other engineering field. What would do you need when it comes to mechanical engineering in particular? Well, you need to have a grip over certain areas like technical drawing, engineering drawing, computer skills for designing machines is a must. You need to have sound knowledge of IT, design and analytical skills, as well as an ability to sort of visualize or conceptualize structures. Mechanical engineers must possess numeric skills, because maths is a very important tool, so they need an inquisitive and logical mind that can make connections, between ideas and handle abstract concepts, creative and innovative ideas to sort of, find solutions to problems where they need a new perspective, right? Um, so that's pretty much the abilities that you sort of need to flourish in this field, right? People ask me a bit about scope, right? Um, Once again, like I say, the scope is of individuals, not degrees, right? But however, mechanical engineering has a lot of scope in Pakistan, right? I did my undergrad from Ghulam Azam University, and now since like past 3 to 4 years, computers are sort of like taken the competition away. But I remember back in my time, like mechanical engineering was the cream in GK, and for a lot of other universities, and it still is a very reputable field. There's no doubt about it, Um, you know, Pakistan is actually suffering from a lack of mechanical engineers, along with the lack of many other skilled professionals on account of the brain drain and all that, right? Um, that is why engineering companies give preferences to a mechanical engineer, a skillful engineer and a creative mind, a fellow with a creative mind, they can earn as much as possible. Sky's the limit, right? So besides Pakistan, if we talk about abroad, as I talked about in the previous video, right, about automotive engineering and stuff, is sort of like interlinked with the mechanical. So yeah, there are a lot of Gulf countries that are giving huge preference to a mechanical engineer, So I think more importantly, when we instead of asking for scope, we need to know about career options. Okay, I need to know that if I have a mechanical engineering degree from a certain so university, once I get this paper in my hand, what can I do with it, right? What options are available for me at the entry level as far as work designations are concerned? So, guys, you actually have a lot of options after BSc Mechanical Engineering, right? For example, some basic and suitable jobs that you can sort of gravitate to in the aftermath of your graduation immediately, or assistant engineers, lecturers, professors. Well, you need a PhD degree to be a professor, right? You could become a senior consultant. With the passage of time, you can become an executive engineer, or you can become an assistant engineer, right? You can sort of do more research on these fields, see what sort of skill sets and knowledge academically and practically is required from you for you to do justice to that particular domain, right? And mechanical engineers, like I said, they can find job in a wide variety of sectors. Okay, we talking aerospace and aeronautical industry, the automotive car industry, nuclear industry. The Atomic Energy Commission really hires a lot of mechanical engineers. Similarly, manufacturing industries, railways, marine, navy, government sectors, IT industry, chemical, electronics industry, marketing, agricultural, power plants, steel plants, oil exploration industry, and last but not least, you got the space research industry that's hiring mechanical engineers in leaps and bounds. And these are just some of the industries that I've named, guys. There are like so many other industries. Okay, um, mechanical engineering. The mechanical engineer's salary in Pakistan. That is a frequently asked question. Well, I don't really have a lot of good news in this case, right? But the reality is what it is, right? So obviously, salary is a very important factor, right? So if you are looking for a mechanical engineer salary in Pakistan at a basic level, this is an estimate is going to be sort of rupees 30,000, 40,000 a month. Might cover your pocket money, pocket expenditures. But with the passage of time, if you get promoted and all that stuff, if you burn the midnight oil, you can earn more than 1 lakh per month. With the passage of time, I know fellas would even earning 2 to 5 lakh, with 8 hours work in a day, working 5 days a week, the usual corporate grind. So it just comes down to how much devoted you are, how much willing you are to take risks, and how much you are, how ready you are to climb up that ladder. I mean, another question that a lot of people ask is what are the major subjects and specialization when we talk about mechanical engineering, right? So the major courses that are included in BSc Mechanical Engineering, some of the examples of some that come in my mind are engineering graphics, you got machine dynamics, you got mechanic lab, you got machine tools, dynamometry, you got thermodynamics, you got production methods, right? You got, mechanics of solids and stuff, right? And there are also, you can, like, when you, because you see mechanical engineering is like sort of an umbrella term, right? It has a lot of subdomains, right? So you can do specializations in respective fields. Some examples that come in my mind are kinematics, there is production engineering, there is rapid prototyping, there are micro electrosystems, there is thermoscience, there's introduction of fluid dynamics, and so on and so forth. Another question that is asked is, education and eligibility. So to become a mechanical engineer, you should have a graduate degree that is a BSc, or a postgraduate degree, or at least a diploma that is a DAE or a BTech in mechanical engineering. If you talk about BSc, the basic eligibility criteria is FSC/A levels with, you having taken the core subjects of physics, chemistry, and mathematics. And after the bachelor's, obviously, you can go for a postgraduate degree. There are postgraduate courses which offer specialized training in thermal engineering, design, and production engineering. And I say that, postgraduate degrees, fellows, they are pretty much essential if you're looking for a teaching post, or a comfy sort of position in management. And in addition, I feel like if you're doing like a degree in mechanical engineering, like postgrad, on top of it, I would also very highly recommend that you do a additional degree in business administration. It's sort of desirable for management positions. That debate is aside. These degrees, they don't really contribute a lot as far as practical stuff is concerned. It's mainly your skill sets. But then again, these are stipulated requirements, so you got to comply with that, right? As far as selection to these graduate courses is concerned, in mechanical, it is actually based on merit. I feel like it's normally 60%, sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 55, but 60 is like a safe bet. And just keep in mind, guys, that some universities, in fact, quite a lot of universities that I know, including mine, GK, right, that takes an entry test, right? So you could also be asked to appear an interview in some cases. So just keep that in mind, just factor that into consideration. The duration, this is another question we get. The duration is typically of 4 years, but if you talk duration, they are typically of 2 to 3 years duration. So I think there was a lag. So yeah, I'm going to repeat that again. That the BSCB courses are of 4 years duration, whereas the diploma courses in polytechnics, they're of 2 to 3 years duration. Okay, so the duration is something that you also need to be sort of aware about, because obviously you're going to put in a certain amount of effort before they decide you have what it takes to go into the industry. So you got to be really calculated. You got to ask yourself all these different questions before you go into that particular avenue. Then we have this query that, okay, what is the merit in universities? Okay, as per the information I have, the recent merits, if you talk about UT Lahore, that was 78.834. UET Taxila was 73.805. UT Peshawar was, I don't really have the start for UT Peshawar though. However, I can give you the start for BZU Multan, that was 68.845. Apologies, fellas, if I muddle up the info. These are recent statistics I have, right? NUSP EME is 78.77, whereas PIAS is 82. So, I would say don't be very ritualistic when you are selecting a career, because that's pretty much going to be your future, right? Don't say that so and so, that Tom, Dick, or Harry did it. So guess what, guys? I'm going to do it as well. So don't make it a rat race of sorts. Don't make it a shopping list, and just make sure you are informed, right? In our time, we really, really lacked counselors, at school level, college level, because of which a lot of us made a lot of, wrong, misinformed decisions without keeping in mind the context, So speaking about Gen Z in particular, it's in an era where all the information in the world is accessible at the click of a button, So make sure you do research, Yes, obviously, I get money is important, but the passion has to be there, the drive has to be there. You need to make sure that what you're doing is something that really, really, kickstarts you, fires you, zaps you all the way to the highest horizon. So that is very important, and I feel Mechanical engineering can really be a lot of people's cup of tea. I'd like to share a few motivational stories before we call it a session. Winnie Wang is rather a Chinese American mechanical engineer, a shining example of innovation. She was inspired by nature's solutions, and therefore, what Winnie did was she initiated the field of biomimicry. Biomimicry is actually designing human technologies by emulating nature's ingenious mechanisms. So early in her career, Wong sort of worked on heat transfer problems in spacecraft design. However, she became increasingly fascinated by the efficiency and sustainability of natural structures. And this led to her co-founding Embryonic, which was a biomimicry consultancy, where she and her team basically what they do is they translate biological principles into practical solutions. So one of their most impactful projects, it involves designing a revolutionary water filtration system inspired by the lotus leaf, the lotus leaf. This low energy self-cleaning filter, it provides clean water to remote communities and demonstrates the power of biomimicry to address global challenges. And Wong's dedication to this field is actually under our recognition as a MacArthur Fellow, colloquially known as the Genius Grant. And she actively promotes biomimicry education. She inspires others to find solutions within nature's vast labyrinth or library of designs. And that's quite inspirational. There's another person that comes to my mind, Dr. Aika Ben Yahya. She is a Moroccan-born mechanical engineer. She's a leading figure in the field of sustainable robotics. She basically, the woman, what she's doing is she champions the use of robots to address environmental challenges and promote sustainable development. She's driven by concern for the impact of climate change, and her research focuses on designing robots that can operate in harsh environments and contribute to environmental restoration efforts. Her groundbreaking work involves robots for tasks like waste collection and sorting, underwater exploration and monitoring, and even disaster relief operations. She emphasizes the importance of energy efficient robot design and utilizes renewable energy resources whenever possible. Dr. Benjaya's vision, it sort of extends beyond technical innovation. She actively advocates for the ethical development and use of robots, and she ensures that they contribute to a sustainable future. So I feel like her story, it exemplifies the growing importance of ethical considerations and environmental consciousness, which has to be embraced holistically within the field of mechanical engineering. And while we're at it, I mean, these are some global figures that I've talked about for the fellows in Pakistan, right? Let's talk about some local role models as well. So Dr. Samar Hasnan is a Pakistani mechanical engineer, and he is a trailblazer in the field of prosthetics. He's driven by desire to help amputees who've had their limbs severed off to regain mobility and independence. So Dr. Hasnan has dedicated her career to developing affordable and innovative prosthetic tools, prosthetic limbs. Recognizing the limitations of traditional prosthetics, particularly their high cost and lack of customization, she has embarked on a mission to create more accessible and user-friendly solutions, And Dr. Hassan's team at the National University of Science and Technology has developed a groundbreaking prosthetic knee joint using locally available materials. And this affordable and durable design, it caters to the specific needs of amputees in Pakistan and surrounding regions. So additionally, her team focuses on user comfort and functionality, incorporating features like adjustable range of motion and improved weight distribution. So her commitment to social impact has earned her numerous accolades, and her story is a testament to the power of Pakistani engineering talent and its potential to address the needs of the community, right? She serves as an inspiration for aspiring engineers and demonstrates the positive societal impact that is achievable through innovation with a very strong, special, high octane, exclusive focus on accessibility, right? And finally, Mariam Rashid is a young Pakistani mechanical engineer. Almost all of them are women. Wow. She's making waves in the field of hydropower technology. passionate about renewable energy solutions. Rashid, she focuses her studies on micro hydropower systems. And these small scale hydropower plants, they can provide clean security to remote communities which are not connected to the national grid. So, recognizing the vast potential of micro hydropower in Pakistan's mountainous regions, her work involves designing and implementing efficient and cost-effective micro hydro systems. So she takes a very what you call a very orthodox community-driven approach and collaborates with local population to ensure the sustainability and effectiveness of these projects. Her Herculean efforts have brought clean energy to previously underserved communities, improving their quality of life and showcasing the potential of locally developed solutions to address energy needs. So her story is an inspiration for aspiring engineers, particularly young women who are showcasing the impact achievable through dedication and a focus on renewable energy solutions. Because let's face it, guys, the future is all about renewables. That's what I say, right? So like I said, right, if you want to find a reason to do something, I gave you not one, not two, not three, but four, right? So think again, right? If it's the most popular engineering discipline in Pakistan, doesn't mean you got to do it, right? If it's the most popular thing on the face of the earth, period, still doesn't mean you got to do it, right? Just ask yourself, right? Does it trigger you? Does it, drive you? Is it a reason you get out of bed in the morning? And always remember, fellas, never ever choose pay skills. Always choose bosses. Like if your boss is a pragmatic, passionate, and transformative person, leads with a visionary mentality, is going to do wonders. Okay. And if that is not the case, trust me, there's going to be a lot of, you're going to feel stunted. You're going to feel that you are stagnating, psychologically speaking. And, it's just going to infuse an aura of monotony into your life, so you don't want that basically, right? So be informed. And obviously, you are most welcome to reach out to me in the comment section if you have any sort of queries. And we'll be back soon with much more quality content. Thank you very much for being a great audience and stay blessed and have a nice day. Assalamu alaikum.